Hey there, my beautiful people. It's your favorite auntie, Tamika Marie.
Hey, beautiful people.
Hey there, beautiful people. Hey there, beautiful people.
Hey there, beautiful people. I'm Tamika Marie, and today we're diving into how to build a dream team. Because let's be real, you cannot do this all on your own. This session is all about leveling up and making sure that you got the right people by your side to help you grow your tats business and empower our community. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to find, hire, and keep the best talent that's going to help you push forward the mission. No matter what path you choose, you're going to need to scale your business. And our industry, particularly, requires a level of screening and vetting to find quality team members that are going to have your vision in mind. The mission is bigger than just taxes. For most of my partners, it's about breaking generational barriers through financial literacy and helping our community build wealth. And here's the thing, in order to do that, you're going to need a team. A strong team is essential to making this mission a reality. When you've got the right people in place, you're not just pumping out tax returns. You're changing the financial landscape of your community through financial literacy. And that is what this is all about. All right, so here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to start with identifying the right candidates, who they are, and what they bring to the table. Then we'll dive into the difference between hiring employees versus contractors, because trust me, there's more to it than just paperwork. And after that, we'll talk about payment options, how to keep your team motivated and fairly compensated. And next, we'll go over the interview process, how to ask the right questions, and make sure that you're bringing in top talent. And finally, I'll wrap it up with onboarding, how to set up your new hires for success from day one. So let's get into it. Before we dive in, let's set some expectations. By the end of this session, you're going to have all the tools that you need to find, hire, and keep the best talent for your tax business. This isn't just about filling seats. It's about building a team that's aligned with your mission, vision, and goals to set your values. So get ready. Let's take some notes, ask some questions, and most importantly, get excited about building your team. Now let's talk about who you want on your team. And this isn't just about finding someone who can do the job or who needs a job. You need folks who align with your vision and bring something extra to the table. We're talking about the qualities and the skills that go above tax knowledge. You need people who are hungry, those who are ready to hustle, and who believe in what you're trying to achieve. Cultural fit is key. If they don't vibe with your mission, it's going to be a struggle. So let's dive into what makes an ideal candidate. All right, so let's break down some skills. Obviously, tax knowledge is a must. They got to know their stuff, but that's just the start. You also need folk who can think on their feet, solve problems, because this is a business and things do not always go according to plan. And you don't want to underestimate the power of strong communication skills. Your team needs to be able to break down complex tax concepts into everyday language that your clients can understand. If they can't communicate, it doesn't matter how smart they are, they're not going to be able to get this job done. So skills are important, but let's not forget about personality. You need people that are going to bring the right energy to your team. A strong work ethic is non-negotiable. They've got to be willing to put in the work, especially when things get hectic. Resilience is key. Tax season can be a grind, and you need folks that can handle that type of pressure. You want team players, people who are willing to help out their coworkers and contribute to the positive office culture. And finally, adaptability is crucial. The tax world is always changing, and you need people who are willing to learn how to grow with the business. So where do you find these rock star candidates, right? You've got options. LinkedIn and job boards are great places to start. There's a lot of talent out there just waiting to be discovered. But don't sleep on networking events and industry conferences either. Those are prime opportunities to meet people who are serious about their career and who want to be a perfect fit for your team. And let's not forget about social media and referrals. Sometimes the best hires come from people that you already know and trust. I'm not telling you to go out there and hire your friends and family now, okay? So, but getting the word out there and using all of these tools at your disposal will help you to be able to find the right people. All right. Your network is your most valuable resource when it comes to recruiting. Don't be afraid to reach out to your current team, your clients, and your professional contacts. Referrals can bring in some of the best candidates because they've already been vetted by someone you trust. Consider offering referral incentives to your current employees. Money talks, and it's a small price to pay for finding the right top talent. Tapping into your existing connections can help you find candidates who are a great cultural fit and who are ready to hit the ground running. If you've ever experienced where we know in the tax industry, people who do insurance or credit repair, they're always reaching out to us, or real estate. It's because the pressures of those different industries also kind of go hand in hand with what it is that we do. So they kind of figure, there's upselling, and then also coming in one through season, coming in and out of one season into the nets is a way for you to be able to just keep that money flowing. All right. So you've got a bunch of resumes coming in. So now what? This is where you need to get strategic. The goal here is to separate the wheat from the chaff. All right. Start by reviewing resumes and applications with purpose. Look for relevant experience, attention to detail, and clear alignment with your needs. Don't skip the phone screen either. It's a quick way to gauge their communication skills, enthusiasm, and fit before you invest in a full interview. And keep an eye out for red flags, gaps in employment, job hopping, or vague ass descriptions. But also remember that to assess potential, sometimes the best hires are those people who still are a little green, but they got a lot of drive and they're willing to learn and grow. All right, so before you move forward with interviews, it's important to have a checklist for identifying top talent. And here's what you're going to be looking for. First, it's going to be relevant experience and skills. Do they have what it takes to do this job? Second, it's going to be, again, cultural fit. Do they align with your mission and your values for the business? And third, strong communication and problem solving abilities. Can they break down complex concepts and handle challenges? And finally, positive references and a solid track record. Make sure they've got a history of delivering results. If they check all of these boxes, then you've got yourself what we call a top candidate. All right, so this is always going to be a controversial concept in the tax community, but let me break down what I consider to be the difference between an employee and a contractor. All right, an employee is someone who works directly for your business. You control their schedule, you are supposed to provide benefits, and they are a long-term part of your team. A contractor, on the other hand, is more independent. They work for you on a project basis, they control their own hours, they don't receive benefits from you, and each has an option of its pros and cons. Employees are great for stability and long-term growth, while contractors offer flexibility and are perfect for short-term projects and specialized skills. Knowing when to choose one over the other is key to building your team for the right business. All right. So when should you hire an employee? If you need stability and long-term growth, hiring an employee is the way to go. Employees are great for roles that require direct oversight, consistent hours, and strong alignment and brand loyalty with your company's mission and culture. They are also ideal for positions that have the potential for growth within the company. So think office reception, going into office management or office administration. All right. Specialized roles where you would want someone who's in it for the long haul. With employees, you're investing in the future of your business. So, of course, we're going to want to treat these people amazing and pay them, right? Okay, so on the flip side, when should you bring on a contractor? If you need flexibility for specialized skills for short-term projects, contractors are the way to go. They're perfect for tasks that don't require full-time attention, or for projects where you need a specific expertise that your current team doesn't have. Okay, not going to emphasize there. Contractors are cost-effective solutions since you're not paying for benefits or long-term commitments. They come in, they get the job done, and then they move on. It's all about matching the right type of worker to the right type of job. All right. So let's talk about the legal stuff, because this is where things can get a little tricky. There are legal definitions and classifications for employees and contractors, and you need to know them to stay on the right side of the law. Misclassifying an employee as a contractor can lead to some serious fines and penalties, not to mention back taxes and benefits that you might owe to that particular employee that has been reclassified from a contractor. So you want to make sure that you're clear on the distinctions and always consult with a legal or HR expert if you are unsure. Compliance with federal and state regulations isn't optional, it's mandatory. And it's what keeps your business safe and secure. So, your insurance, definitely, if you read everything, it tells you how you're supposed to classify the difference of your employees and your contractors, and how they will cover you if people are classified properly and if they are not. All right. So how do you make the right choice? You're going to start by assessing your business needs and what you're trying to accomplish. What kind of support do you need to get there? You're going to weigh the benefits of hiring an employee versus bringing on a contractor. Are you looking for long-term stability or short-term flexibility? Generally, when people are first starting out, they like to pull in contractors, even if it's going through a staffing agency, to get people in those seats, to pull in those bodies that has a beginning level of expertise, right? That way, if something does fall, you're not left shifting through resumes, right? You actually can call that recruiter back up and say, hey, I need to get in a new office manager because the last person didn't work out. And they can, again, have a fresh, warm body in that seat. That is my recommendation when you are starting off into the business. As you start to go through and vet people, I'm not telling you to fill your entire management team or even your entire business with temps, but it is a very viable way to start off. All right. As you continue to look for long-term stability and or short-term flexibility, you want to think about the goals, both immediate and long-term, and match the right type of worker to those needs. For example, if you run a year-round office, the amount of tax preparers that you're going to use during peak season is going to be different than the amount of preparers that you're going to have on for the full season. So can some of those people be contractors? Absolutely, especially if they are more skilled, higher skilled, and or new entry level. Both of those have the opportunity to come in as contractors, especially if it's the opposite of what you typically employ. All right. So yeah, this isn't a one size fits all decision. It's about finding the best fit for your specific situation. All right, so let's look at some real world examples. Hear how other tax pros made their choice between employee and contractors and what we can learn from their experiences. These case studies show the thought process behind the decision, the challenges they face, and the outcomes that they achieve. By learning from their successes and their mistakes, you can make more informed decisions for your own business. Remember, every business is different, but the principles of smart hiring are going to be universal. All right. So case study is going to be listed below. Make sure you guys go in and check those out. All right. So payment options. How are we going to pay these people? Now that you're covered on who you need on your team and how to bring them on board, let's talk money, because let's be real, compensation in this industry matters. And there are so many different compensation structures and different business models to be able to choose from. Everyone's going to run their ship a different way, right? But the way that you pay your team can have a huge impact on their performance, their motivation, and their loyalty. So we're going to explore different payment structures and how to align them with your business goals and why it's so important to offer fair and motivating compensation. After all, if you want your team to give their best, you've got to make sure that they're getting what they deserve. You got to make sure that they're getting it on time. You got to make sure that they're getting it in full. Everybody wants their money. It's JG Wentworth, it's their money, and they want it now. All right. So first up is one of the most common structures that you'll see in the service bureau based industry, and for people who are looking for team building. All right. It's going to be the commission split. This is perfect for the hustlers on your team, those who have direct impact on your revenue, like sales roles or even tax pros who bring in new clients. So these are the ones that are bringing in their own clientele. Commission splits are all about rewarding performance. The money they bring in, the more they earn. It's a win because it motivates them to grind a little bit harder. And the more that they succeed, the more that your business grows. So we'll look at some examples of successful commission structures and how this can be applied in the tax business. All right. Commission splits. That worksheet's going to be listed below. Hourly pay. All right, so here's one that is mostly used at the franchise structure. This is a steady, reliable option. It's great for roles with consistent tasks and responsibilities like administrative assistants, data entry specialists, or even certain tax prep roles. Hourly pay offers stability for employees, which can bring a draw for those who prefer a predictable income. But it's also important to balance those hourly rates with your budget. We'll discuss how to set competitive hourly rates and attract talent without breaking the bank in the next sections. Ooh, and bonuses. Okay. So, who doesn't love like a little bit of extra cash? Bonuses are a great way to reward your team for going above and beyond. They're an additional incentive that encourage extra effort, commitment, and loyalty. Now, there is not a tax office that I've ran across, no matter how they choose to pay people, whether it is commission, whether it is hourly, that they do not have a bonus structure that follows. So if you do not have a bonus structure, change it and quit being cheap. All right, so they encourage extra effort, commitment, and loyalty, but bonuses need to be structured carefully to make sure that they align with your business goals. Don't go giving away the bank, whether it's hitting certain revenue targets, completing projects ahead of schedule, bringing in new clients. Bonuses should be tied to outcomes that matter for your business needs. So that can change from year to year, right? So we can also talk about in the next section how bonus structures keep your team motivated and on track. All right, so when to use those options? When do you use each payment option? It really depends on the role and what you're trying to achieve. Commission splits are great for revenue generating positions. Hourly pay works well for consistent ongoing tasks, and bonuses can be layered on top of rewarding outstanding performance. The key is to match the payment structure to the role, considering how it impacts motivation and retention. You want to offer enough flexibility to keep your team engaged, but also ensure financial stability for your business. Don't be boring. Um, this is how you hear of teams that are making, tens of thousands of dollars every single week. It's because they're motivated to get out there and shake a tail feather. When you are actually incentivizing your team, because as I have always said, taxes is not just about knowing the IRC, it is a sales position, which is also real estate. It is a sales position. Also insurance. It is a sales position. Also credit repair. They're all sales positions. You got to get out there and make it shake. Yes, you have to have the technical knowledge. Yes, you have to apply portions of the law and or codes or sections in order for you to be able to, do your business. But you also have to make sure that you're building comfortability. You have to build your reputation and you have to continue your education to make sure that you're staying on top of your game. All right. So when you're asking someone to juggle all of these hats, it's pressure. And in order to make sure that that team member is excelling at every level of performance, the key is to match the payment structure to the role and consider how it impacts the motivation and retention. You won't, right? That's the goal. That's it. That's all. That's the post. All right. So negotiating pay. It can be tricky, but it's a crucial part of the hiring process. You need to be prepared for pay discussions with candidates, which means understanding market rates and benchmarks for roles that you're hiring for. Go do some market research. Go check out and see what other people are doing. How are they paying their people? And then look at some of the reviews of those people. How are their team members feel about working for them? Are they happy? Are they team building? Are these people actually scaling? Are they forever tax preparers, or did they have room and growth if that's something that you're going to be seeking? So definitely when you're offering and negotiating your pay structure and what you're going to be offering your team as in team building, make sure that you make that process clear of what your deliverables are so that they understand not only are you getting this financial incentive, but this is the benefit of what's coming with this position. So you want to make sure that they understand that it is highly incentivized, right? All right. So it's about finding what that sweet spot is for both you and the candidate to feel like you guys are both getting a good deal. You're getting what you're paying for, and they are getting what they came for. All right. We'll go over strategies of reaching mutually beneficial agreements that leave room for everyone feeling satisfied in the next modules that are getting ready to come up. All right, guys, I'm blowing through this. Okay. So down below, there are going to be some case studies for successful payment structures. You can check that out in the link up when you get over there. Next is interviewing and onboarding. All right, this is going to be a mouthful because this is half of the battle. Okay, so let's talk about the interview process. This is where you really get to know your candidates and see if they're the right fit for your team. Preparation is going to be key. You need to know what you're looking for, set clear objectives for the over interview, and you need to not just ask basic questions. You got to dig deeper and understand if their skills are going to be a fit and potential. You also need to know if they're going to be work with you personality wise. A lot of people are like, okay, they look amazing on paper, but can you guys take instruction and direction? Is that going to be, can't work with everyone. Recognize those red flags at the beginning. And remember, interviews should be a two-way street. Be prepared to answer questions about why someone wants to come and work for you. What makes your business different? What incentivizes a worker to want to partner with you as they drive through their own success? And what growth potential can you offer them? So make sure you're creating a space where candidates feel comfortable and can show their best selves. The goal is to find out if they're a good match for your team and if your team is also a good match for them. All right. So negotiating pay can be a crucial part of the hiring process. So you got to be prepared to ask and discuss that with candidates, which means that you got to understand the market rates. Behavioral questions, you have to assess what their experiences are and ascertain what their decision making levels are, right? Situational questions, find out what their problem solving skills are. Everyone isn't equipped to solve problems. Some people have to take directions very literally. All right. And then I know we can't beat this in enough. Cultural fit. Everyone's going to run their tax business differently. You need to make sure that your team fits the vibe of what your vision is. Once the interviews are done, it's time to evaluate your candidates. Consistency is key. You want to create a system for evaluating each candidate so that you're comparing apples to apples. Scoring rubrics can really be helpful here, giving you a way to objectively assess each candidate's skill, experience, and fit. But remember, it's not just about who's got the best resume, it's also who is the best fit for the team culture. Sometimes someone who is a better fit for what your business is looking for can be coached up a little bit better, right? And the person that's the best on paper isn't going to be the best candidate in theory and or in practice. So make sure that you're considering both skill and cultural fit when you're making your decisions. And once you've found the right candidate, it's time to make that offer. And timing is everything. You do not want to wait too long because people these days, we know our value, right? You know what you're worth. I would expect that you want to work with people who are going to know what their worth are. Come in swinging strong. Don't waste this person's time. Let them know if they're going to be an asset to your team and make that offer. Craft an offer letter that not only outlines the basic like salary and benefits, but also highlights what makes your company a great place to work. There are some sample offer letters that are going to be listed below in the resources tab. So you want to be transparent about expectations and flexible during negotiations. This is your chance to seal the deal and get your top pick on board. So make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. And then onboarding is where the real work begins. When your new hires, it's their first day or their first weeks, it's crucial for setting them up for success. You have to be prepared for this. You cannot hire someone, throw them into a position, and just expect them to create magic. You have to make sure that they have all of the tools, training, and resources they need to hit the ground running and be successful. Not just logistics. You have to create a welcoming and supportive environment. You want them to feel like they're a part of the team from day one. A strong onboarding process can make the difference between a new hire who thrives and one who struggles to find their footing, which can be all of the difference between success and failure. So also maybe take a look at the Tats Pro onboarding and SOPs to show you of an outline of what you need in order for you to get your team set up for success. All right. And then training your new hires. It doesn't stop after the first week. Investing in ongoing training and development is crucial if you want your team to stay sharp and grow with your business. You're going to tailor your training programs to the individual needs and roles of your teams and members. What works for an entry-level Tats Pro might not be enough for someone who's in a management role. You want to encourage continuous learning and growth and provide opportunities for your team to expand their skills. This is not only benefits them, but it strengthens your entire business. And once you get this stuff put out on paper, once you establish what the process is, when it's time to promote this person from within, you have the framework for the next incoming person. It's already there. All they've got to do is step into those shoes, rock out those SOPs, and keep things on brand and on time. Your company's culture is a big part of what makes your team stick around or not. When you bring someone new on board, it's important to integrate them into the culture from the start. Emphasize your mission, your values, and show them that their work contributes to the bigger picture. Encourage team building and collaboration. Create opportunities for your team to connect and work together. And above all, support a positive and inclusive workplace culture. When your team feels like they belong, they're more likely to stay and contribute their best work. All right. So I've got a whole bunch of collaborative ways for you to be able to set up and establish a team culture that's going to be positive. So make sure that you check that out because there's some exciting stuff, and it will also help you learn how to be a better manager. All right. And then last, retention strategies. Keeping your team happy and engaged is just as important as hiring them in the first place. Competitive pay and benefits are a big part of that, but so are opportunities for growth and advancement. No one wants to feel stuck in a dead-end job. So you show your team that there's room to grow and they'll be more likely to stay. And don't forget about recognition. People want to feel valued, recognized, and reward their contributions, whether it's through bonuses, public shout outs, or other perks. When your team feels appreciated, they're more likely to stick around for the long haul. All right, so let's wrap this up and look at some real world examples of effective onboarding in this next section. I'm going to give you some case studies to show how a strong onboarding program can lead to higher retention, better performance, and a more engaged team. When you get into the recording, I'm going to explore what works, what doesn't work, and what lessons you can apply from your own business. Listen, effective onboarding isn't about getting someone started. You have to set this person up with in mind for long-term success with your business. A lot of businesses fail just from employee turnover alone, right? So when you get this right, you're building a team that's not good, but great. All right, so that's a wrap for the formal part of this session. All right, everything else is going to be recorded a little bit later and added into the final course for you guys to be able to go in and pick up all of those gems. You guys have the framework for what it is that you need to do in order for you to go out there and retain a team. I've also got some scripts that are going to be posted in the resources tab of the actual course. Get you some contracts for employees and for contractors. We're also going to get you some sample job descriptions as well as some sample job postings for you to put on different boards, whether you're going down to the local colleges or if you're posting on local job boards or if you're posting on Indeed, and a couple of different scenarios for you to get out there and really be awesome at team building, whether you're going to do it online or whether you're going to pound the pavement and get your team done. All right. So we'll do a quick recap of what I talked about, right? We're wanting to find the right candidates, choosing between employees and contractors, setting up fair and motivating payment structures, interviewing and onboarding, and keeping your team happy and engaged, right? So I'm going to open the floor for any questions, and all of that information from that Q&A that's going to pop up is going to be recorded, dropped off in the link up, and then published into the final course. As always, you guys give me a few days to finish up recording. Go ahead. I'm going to allow this to go for a discount for the next 5 days. And then when it launches next week, as it's finished recording, it will go at regular price. As always, I hope that this has been informative. If you guys have any questions, concerns, post them below. All Q&A will be posted live and you will get the answers to your questions. All right, love and light, y'all. And this is how we recruit. Boss up your team.